So we will be just a moment. So can you see the text? All of you, can you see the text?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is page number 16 in the PDF document, as you can see here. So Lady Bracknell and Gwendolen, they arrive at Algernon's flat. Lady Bracknell is actually, she's Algernon's aunt, and Jack Worthing is there. And Jack Worthing and Gwendolen, they sit together in the corner. So they start talking together. Now, Lady Bracknell, she says to Algernon, I am sorry if we are a little late, Algernon, but I was obliged, to call on dear Lady Harbury. I hadn't been there since her poor husband's death. I never saw a woman so altered. She looks quite 20 years younger. And now I'll have a cup of tea and one of those nice cucumber sandwiches you promised me. So just look at this speech. It is so funny. Lady Bracknell rather, she apologizes to Algernon that she is late because she had to pay a visit to one of her friends, Lady Harbury. Now, this lady had lost her husband, but now that she had visited her, she found that she was in very good health and she looked 20 years younger. So obviously, you can understand that it's a very funny way of saying that a woman would be very happy and well if she loses her husband after the death of her husband. So this is another funny statement. Algernon says, certainly, Aunt Augusta goes over to tea table. Now, Lady Bracknell sees Gwendolen talking with Jack and she asks her to come over. Won't you come and sit here, Gwendolen? Thanks, Mama. I'm quite comfortable where I am. Algernon picking up empty plate in horror. Good heavens, Lane, why are there no cucumber sandwiches? I ordered them specially. So he had promised his Aunt Augusta that he would serve her cucumber sandwiches, but absent-mindedly, he had been eating all those cucumber sandwiches. So, of course, he has eaten all the sandwiches and there are none left. And now he sees that the plate is empty and he is horrified. Lane, gravely, there were no cucumbers in the market this morning, sir. I went down twice. So Lane, of course, uh, can't say that you have eaten all the cucumber sandwiches. So he says that there were no cucumbers. No cucumbers, Lane. No, sir. Not even for ready money. That will do, Lane. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Goes out. I am greatly distressed, Aunt Augusta, about there being no cucumbers, not even for ready money. So he is really sorry that he will not be able to offer, uh, you know, his aunt any cucumber sandwiches. It really makes no matter, Algernon. I had some crumpets with Lady Harbury, who seems to me to be living entirely for a pleasure now. So this particular lady is now very well. I hear her hair has turned quite gold from grief. So it is another funny and witty saying because, of course, we all know that one's hair turns gray from grief. But here, Algernon says that her hair has turned quite gold from grief. So this is another witty saying. So as you can see here, you will find all these funny statements made by Algernon and other characters. It certainly has changed its color. From what cause, I, of course, cannot say. Algernon crosses and hands tea. Thank you. I have quite a treat for you tonight, Algernon. I am going to send you down with Mary Farquhar. She is such a nice woman and so attentive to her husband. It's delightful to watch them. So, uh, Lady Bracknell has arranged that Algernon will sit with Lady Farquhar. Algernon, I'm afraid, Aunt Augusta, I shall have to give up the pleasure of dining with you tonight after all. Frowning, I hope not, Algernon. It would put my table completely out. Your uncle would have to dine upstairs. Fortunately, he is accustomed to that. So, Lady Bracknell does not allow her husband to dine with her. It is a great bore, and I need hardly say a terrible disappointment to me. But the fact is, I have just had a telegram to say that my poor friend Bunbury is very ill again. Exchanges glances with Jack. They seem to think I should be with him. So again, he gives that excuse to Algernon that his friend uh, Bunbury is very sick and he has to go to the country to visit him. Obviously, Jack also now knows that it is a complete lie. Lady Bracknell says it is very strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health. So she is a bit uh, suspicious about all these things, about Bunburyism, because often earlier, Algernon has said the same thing that his friend Bunbury is very sick and he has to go to the countryside to look after him. So now she is a bit suspicious. Yes, poor Bunbury is a dreadful invalid, so he's always sick. So I have to go and attend him. Well, I must say, Algernon, that I think it is high time that Mr. Bunbury made up his mind whether he was going to live or to die. So Lady Bracknell doesn't have any sympathy with this particular man, Bunbury. So she is saying that he would better die. He should make up his mind whether to live or to die because being perpetually sick isn't really good. This shilly-shallying with the question is absurd. Shilly-shallying means uh, it means that one is undecided. So one is not, not really can't make up one's mind whether to do one thing or leave it. Nor do I in any way approve of the modern sympathy with invalids. I consider it morbid. Illness of any kind is hardly a thing to be encouraged in others. So she is very severe on this. She is not sympathetic towards invalids. Health is the primary duty of life. I am always telling that to your poor uncle, but he never seems to take much notice. So she is of the opinion that one should always be healthy. One's duty is to remain healthy. As far as any improvement in his ailments goes, I should be much obliged if you would ask Mr. Bunbury from me to be kind enough not to have a relapse on Saturday, for I rely on you to arrange my music for me. It is my last reception, and one wants something that will encourage conversation, particularly at the end of the season when everyone has practically said whatever they had to say, which in most cases was probably not much. So the end of the season is approaching, and Lady Bracknell would like to give a final party. And here she is asking Algernon to arrange the music, what music would be played in that party. So she is uh, emphatically requesting him, or rather asking to ask Mr. Bunbury not to fall ill again. To have a relapse means to fall ill again on Saturday. I'll speak to Bunbury and Augusta if he is still conscious, and I think I can promise you he will be all right by Saturday. So Algernon promises his aunt. Of course, the music is a great difficulty. You see, if one plays good music, people don't listen. And if one plays bad music, people don't talk. So it's really a difficult thing to decide. So if good music is played, people have such bad taste, they don't listen to good music. And when bad music is played, they don't talk and they listen. So it is a very funny situation. But I'll run over the program I have drawn out if you will kindly come into the next room for a moment. So he now wants to take Lady Bracknell to the other room so that Jack would be able to talk with Gwendolen. Thank you, Algernon. It is very thoughtful of you rising and following Algernon. I'm sure the program will be delightful after a few expurgations or expurgations. Expurgations meaning some deletions. Uh, so, French songs I cannot possibly allow. People always seem to think that they are improper and either look shocked, which is vulgar, or laugh, which is worse. So, French songs would not be played in that party. So, people laugh and they think that it is vulgar. But German sounds a thoroughly respectable language, and indeed, I believe is so. Gwendolen, you will accompany me. So she wants that German songs should be played. So she thinks that they are superior to French songs. And now she asks Gwendolen to go with her. Certainly, Mama, Lady Bracknell and Algernon going to the music room. Gwendolen remains behind. She does not follow her mother. Jack now starts the conversation with Gwendolen. Charming day it has been, Miss Fairfax. Gwendolen says, pray don't talk to me about the weather, Mr. Worthing. Whenever people talk to me about the weather, I always feel quite certain that they mean something else. And that makes me so nervous. So don't talk about the weather. Gwendolen glibly, that is clearly a metaphysical speculation. And like most metaphysical speculations, has very little reference at all to the actual facts of real life as we know them. So he's being kind of a, he says in a kind of frivolous tone. It's a metaphysical speculation. It's a very high kind of a speculation that you have. She says this. Sorry, I actually extremely sorry. Actually, I jumped one page. Uh, Jack, I do mean nothing, something else. So Jack says that actually I mean something else. Gwendolen, I thought so. In fact, I am never wrong. And I would like to be allowed to take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary absence. So Jack wants to take advantage of the fact that Gwendolen's mother is not present here. I would certainly advise you to do so. Mama has a way of coming back suddenly into a room that I have often had to speak to her about. So Lady Bracknell has this habit of coming into the room unannounced. Jack nervously, Miss Fairfax, ever since I met you, I have admired you more than any girl I have ever met since I met you. So he is faltering. He can't say it very uh, smoothly. Yes, I'm quite aware of the fact, and I often wish that in public, at any rate, you had been more demonstrative. For me, you have always had an irresistible fascination. Even before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. Jack looks at her in amazement. So, this statement that even when she had not met him, she was not indifferent to him. This makes Jack very, of course, it surprises him. We live, as I hope you know, Mr. Worthing, in an age of ideals. The fact is constantly mentioned in the more expensive monthly magazines and has reached the provincial pulpits, I am told. And my ideal has always been to love someone of the name of Ernest. There is something in that name that inspires absolute confidence. The moment Algernon first mentioned to me that he had a friend called Ernest, I knew I was destined to love you. So she makes it clear what she meant by that statement. Actually, she is saying that uh, she has some principles, she has some ideals which she follows, and she is somewhat like her mother. She likes to make speeches, long speeches, as you can see here. So she's saying that actually I always wanted to uh, love a man whose name was Ernest. This is a strange thing, but it is obviously a strange kind of you can say, wish that Gwendolyn has. And even before she had met uh, Jack, she had learned from Algernon that one of his friends was called Ernest. And from that time, she started loving him, even before meeting him. You really love me, Gwendolyn? Passionately. Darling, you don't know how happy you have made me. My own Ernest. So, actually, as you can see here, she is a very kind of an idealistic or someone who is in love with the name Ernest and not with the actual person, as it were. So, just because Jack is called or he calls himself Ernest, then that is why she loves him. But you don't really mean to say that you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Ernest. So Jack is a bit concerned because obviously he has made that up. But your name is Ernest. Yes, I know it is, but supposing it was something else, do you mean to say you couldn't love me then? So he's a bit hesitant. He says that yes, it is, but if it were not Ernest, what then? Glibly. Ah, that is clearly a metaphysical speculation, and like most metaphysical speculations, has very little reference at all to the actual facts of real life as we know them. So here uh, she replies very smoothly that, well, that's a metaphysical speculation, and and I cannot really uh, sort of